Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Dram Show with me, Chris Goodrum. Right, okay. Now the reason that there wasn't an episode of the show last week was because I was at work. No, we weren't open, but because of the new or the upcoming rather draconian measures going to be introduced by the government with regards to the display of cigarettes and tobacco, they've all got to go undercover. You can't see them. So basically we had a big refit of the shop. The entire sort of back gantry where all the cigarettes and tobacco was displayed has been changed, and we've moved a lot of the spirits upstairs, which is really cool, because basically the amount of people that would come into the shop and go, I didn't know you did whiskey. Well, now there's no excuse for it because you're confronted by a wall of the stuff when you come into the shop, and so we're kind of having to sort of evolve our selling methods. Where you have to sort of go with the flow. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. This legislation is going to happen at some stage, whether it's plain packaging or whether it's completely hidden. It is going to come in. So we've had to adapt to it, and I think we've adapted quite well. Hopefully, I'll get to take some pictures at some stage and get them up on our Facebook page so you can see what it looks like. Hopefully you'll agree it looks really smart. So anyway, that's enough about that. Let's talk about what I'm going to be tasting today. As you can tell from the title screen, we're looking at the newest distillery to go into production in the UK, and that's the Lakes Distillery. Now the Lakes Distillery, as you would assume, is found in the Lake District. Apparently near Basingthwaite Lake. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I don't really come from the Lake District, as you can probably gather. They found an old model farm, an 1850s Victorian model farm, which was ideal for turning into the distillery. And I was chatting with Paul Curry, the owner of the distillery, at the World Whisky Awards, which is how I've managed to get these samples. Apparently it's 6 miles outside of Keswick, and went into production, I think, sometime last year. And like a lot of new start-up distilleries, they went down the route of doing white spirits, do a gin and a vodka, and they've started distilling the whiskey, which I think has only been going now for about sort of 4 or 5 months, and unfortunately I haven't got a sample of that. But I'm led to believe that they're using some interesting selection of casks, American oak, probably sherry. I think the house style is going to be unpeated, fairly light, in that sort of I guess what you'd call that the English style, to be honest with you. They have 3 custom-made stills, 2 of which are for whiskey production, a wash still and a spirit still of about 3,500 litres, and a third still which they use just for the production of their gin. So it's an interesting concept, I think. And one of the interesting concepts they've done is create this Founders Club, where I think it's about £595 a year. You will then receive a bottle of the spirit over the period of 10 years. You get one each year, and you'll get a couple of miniatures so you can see how the spirit is evolving, and all that kind of thing. So if that sounds really interesting to you, then obviously you can apply for that on their website. And yeah, I guess that's about it for the waffle. So let's introduce this afternoon's little lot. Right, okay, so we'll kick off this afternoon's little tasting with the vodka, distilled from 100% English wheat. I think double distilled, although I'm not entirely certain of that, but we'll assume double distilled for now. So that should be quite interesting. The gin that they produce again is from 100% English wheat base spirit. And they've attempted to use a number of local botanicals, which seems to be the sort of like the thing at the moment with regards to gin, certainly to use native and local botanicals. I believe they use, if I look at the advertising leaflet, bilberry, heather, and meadowsweet are the some of the local um, botanicals that go into it, as well as locally sourced juniper as well. So that should be quite interesting. And finally, although this is not their own whisky, they have a whisky on the market which they've interestingly called The One. Now, the idea behind this is they've taken whisky from all of the countries of the UK. So the obvious one, the St George's Distillery in Norfolk, is obviously where they've sourced the English whisky from, and the Penderyn in Wales, where they've obviously sourced the Welsh whisky proportion. They've selected whisky from both North and South Islands, so I would guess probably Bushmills and Middleton. And Scottish whisky has gone into it as well. Now, having tasted it, it's got a little bit of smokiness. I would guess that it's probably a peated malt that they've sourced, maybe not too heavily peated, possibly lightly peated Coalila, maybe Bunnahabhain, something like that. I don't know exactly. I probably should have found that out, but as you know by now, I kind of suck it and see, and you know, no doubt somebody out there knows and will probably put a little comment in the box saying it's made from. But anyway, that's by the by. I think it's now time to taste them. So we'll kick off with the vodka. Right, okay, so let's see what the notes gives us then, shall we? That is a nice vodka, actually. It's got character, which is again what I always want in a vodka. I don't want something that's completely neutral and smells of nothing. This has definitely got a sort of a fullness, a weight to it, a sort of a wheatiness. You can definitely tell that it's made from that particular grain. A little bit of vanilla, little bit of smoke. Quite nice, rounded, soft. What more can you say? Really, that's got some lovely character to it. That's a really good quality base spirit. Pal? Lovely, soft, a little bit of crispness, a little bit of minerality creeping through. Again, quite wheaty, full, a little bit of bitterness now coming through on the finish. That's got loads of character. I really like that, and I think the water source is obviously local, and I believe that the water in the Lake District is fairly soft. So I'm guessing that that is going to add some soft character to the spirit that they distill, and certainly the vodka has it in spades. Lovely soft, lots of character, like I said, and a bit of bitterness on the finish, which is not a bad thing. I quite like that. It gives it a little bit of a bite. So yeah, and I think it retails for around about £30 mark. So yeah, not too bad at all, I don't think. Right, okay, so let's move on to the gin. Let's see what the nose gives us on that. That's quite subtle, actually. Again, the spirit itself is quite full, as you would expect from the style of the vodka. Again, quite wheaty. A little bit of smoke coming through. Some subtle, sweet juniper. It's got a really nice, sweet floral character. I'm guessing it's the meadowsweet. I don't know what meadowsweet is, apart from it's probably some kind of herb or something, I believe. But it's certainly got this sort of slightly floral, like I said, sweet floral character. A little bit of smoke, soft, rounded juniper notes. There's no hard edges. It's subtle, quite smoky in actual fact now, because it's been sat in the glass for a while. Again, nice creamy spirit, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of spice, maybe some cinnamon, possibly, not coriander, possibly more than cinnamon, I think. A little bit of bark. That's quite pleasant. I think that's very nice. It's all very relaxed and gentle and subtle. It's not a sort of in-your-face kind of gin. Are
you still using a vial? Oh, sorry. Oh, you used to smile at the
Again, soft creamy spirit, quite wheaty, fleshy. Get lots and lots of spice on the finish. Barky, kind of earthy spice. Again, pretty subtle on the juniper. Just a smidge of it. Again, a little bit of sweetness, that sort of herbal floral sweetness coming through, but really spicy. A bit of bitter licorice kind of character right on the finish. It's got a nice bite to it. Yeah, that's quite nice. Right, okay, and finally let's see what the one gives us. Now, it would have been nice to taste some of their spirit, and hopefully, Paul, if you're watching this, you'll send me, 2 or 3 samples of your spirit matured in different casks, that kind of thing, just to see how it's kind of going along. Although it's only about, like I said, it's only a handful of months old, so it's probably not going to have picked up an awful lot of wood character in that period of time. But it would be interesting to see, and see if the new make is similar in character to the vodka. But anyway, let's see what the one gives us. It's quite soft. It's again subtle. It's got a nice barleyed sweetness. Little bit of smoke coming through. I can certainly pick up the English character in this. It's got that sort of slightly estery, youthful, crisp kind of character. A little bit of toffee coming through. I mean, I don't know whether, I think this is just vatted all together at the distillery. I think they buy the casks and then vat it together, but it's pleasant. It's, it's nothing sort of out of the ordinary, shall we say. It's well put together, easy going, a little bit of floral. Palate. Bit more toffee on the palate, soft, unassuming. Unassuming was the word when I tasted it originally, was one of the first words that kind of sprang to mind. It's again easygoing, plenty of barley, some citrus, little bit of smoke. It's a pleasant blend. I think now if this was me and I'd sourced these spirits and I'd sourced some Irish whiskey, I would have gone for some Middleton pot still. Just to give it a bit of spice, a bit of bite, a bit of because it's all very nice. It's pleasant, it's easygoing. I just feel that there's kind of missed a trick on this one. If they could have got hold of some, or even Bushmills grain pot still, or even some Bushmills grain. Now that would have been interesting. Although this is a vatted malt, not a blend. But it just added a little bit more of a piquancy to it, and I think that's kind of what's missing. I mean, it's pleasant, it's nice, it's easygoing, like I said, unassuming, and for 30 quid, I mean, you could buy a lot worse for 30 quid. But yeah, I would have just done something slightly different, but then that's me. Right, okay, so let's sum this up, although I've pretty much summed it up as we were kind of going along. I like the vodka. I thought the vodka was very, very good. It ticks all the boxes for me with regards to vodka. It has character. It's got sort of like, you know, you can tell what it is made from. It has that sort of wheaty kind of character to it. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of smoke. You know, some nice complexity. The gin, yeah, okay, pleasant. Again, quite subtle. Lovely spicy finish. A little bit of juniper, you know, easygoing gin again. Bottled, I think, at 40%. So, yeah, quite pleasant. No, I mean there was some. I was reading the bump, and it basically said, you know, other reviewers have said a well-structured and extremely drinkable and versatile whiskey, quality blend, etc., etc. And I can't argue with that at all. They've put together a really, really nice blend. Like I was saying, I think if it had been me, I would have probably tried to get hold of some pot still whiskey just to give it a bit of an edge, a bit of a spiciness to it. But I think, you know, it kind of works with the rest of the range. And you know, when they kindly sent me these samples, it all comes in a sort of really nice little packaging with a picture of the still on the back and all that kind of stuff. And you know, if you're interested, then get a hold of it. You know, I think pleasant. I mean, I'd like to eventually taste their own spirit and see what the distillery character does to the whiskey. But up until now, or till then, I might do with these. But yeah, good, enjoyable. Certainly worth looking at. But you know, I can see us stocking the gin and the vodka. I can't really see us going for the blend. But you know, that's, like I said, it's not a bad blend. It's, you know, it's just shelf space, isn't it? You know how it goes. Anyway, I guess that's probably about enough for this episode of the show. Fairly short and sweet, as opposed to some of the mammoth episodes I've done over the past. All that's left to say is that hopefully, fairly shortly, I've got two more episodes of the show lined up next. A cognac and an armagnac, which I haven't done as yet, and I'm really looking forward to doing. And then hopefully after that, I will be doing the winners of the World Whisky Awards, which should have been, I think, announced yesterday, I think, or yeah, 20th. Although I don't know who was the overall winner, but hopefully I'll be doing an episode of the show in conjunction with the World Whisky Awards. So look out for that. But that's pretty much all for today. So all I'd like to say is good dramming and good afternoon.